To Session 2 of the Developing Professional Practice module. This is also known as 5DVP. I'm Tracy Callahan and I'll be taking you through the Developing Professional Practice module. If you have any queries or questions along the way, you can email me on tracy@professional-futures.com. or you can visit our website where you'll find lots of resources that will help you to complete the assignment. Before we start with Session 2, let's have a quick review. In Session 1 we looked at the structure of the whole video series that will help you to complete 5DVP. In this session we'll focus on the HR map and we'll look to answer Assessment Criteria 1.1, which was to evaluate what it means to be a HR professional, and you need to make reference to the current CIPD profession map. So for Session 2, this is what you'll need. You'll need set 2 of the slides so that you can follow and take your own notes, and you'll need to watch the whole of video 2 for this section. Now the aim of this section is to explain the main features of the CIPD HR profession map and also to describe the relevance of the HR map to HR practitioners. So our first question is, what is the CIPD HR profession map? And you might see this written as HRPM. So the CIPD HR profession map sets out to show how HR can add the greatest sustained value to an organisation that it operates in, and that's either now or in the future. And it describes the highest standards of professional competence that we need to be able to deliver sustained performance for our organisations. Now it's driven by and it's based on research and partnership with HR professionals across the globe who work in and with all different types of organisations and businesses. And it captures what successful and effective HR people do and what they deliver across every aspect and specialism of their profession. And it also sets out the required underpinning activities, behaviour and knowledge. Now it covers 10 professional areas and 8 behaviours, and it's set out in 4 bands of competence. So the HR profession map covers every level of the HR profession, and that goes from band 1 at the start of a HR career right through to band 4 for the most senior leaders. Now 2 professional areas sit at the core, and they are insight, strategy and solutions and leading HR. And these 2 core areas emphasise the contributions that every successful HR professional makes, and that regardless of their role, their level of or their specialism. Now the HR profession map sets out our global standards for the HR professional, and it does this by setting out globally transferable standards that will help us to deliver value in organisations, and that regardless of the market that we operate in. Now these are global standards, so they're designed to be used in conjunction with local knowledge and technical HR standards. So for example, there might be specific employment laws or payroll laws depending on the country that you're operating in. Now of course, great HR practice is situational, and organisations will focus on certain professional areas depending on their specific challenges. The next aspect is the core of the HR profession map, which is the foundation of great HR capability regardless of the market or the role that we operate in. Now, fundamental to CIPD's view of great HR is that the core of the HR profession defines HR as an applied business discipline where we contribute to and drive business strategy and sustained organisation performance. So the strongest emphases on critical aspects of globally transferable HR standards fall into the core of the HR profession map, which is the insight, strategy and solutions and leading HR, and also in the behaviours. The next aspect is that this is a dynamic and live HR profession map which has been designed by the profession for the profession. And what this means is that the HR profession map is continuously informed by research and feedback from HR professionals and academics. And it was recently refreshed in the previous couple of years when the CIPD focused on reinforcing the idea of a more global mindset and also to reflect the CIPD's next generation research. Another aspect of the map is that it can be used to define, diagnose, develop and recognise great HR, and we'll come back to these on a later slide. So take a few moments to visit the CIPD website and have a look for the HR map, and here's a diagram of the map so that you know what you're looking for. So now you've had a chance to have a look at the HR map and hopefully clicked into the behaviours, the areas and across the 4 bands. Let's look at how you could use it to define, diagnose, build and recognise your HR capability. So the HR map defines what makes great HR and L&D professionals. It also defines what they know, what they do and how they do it. So an example here could be that the organisation can use the content to help create a career framework. It can help you and your organisation to diagnose and benchmark where you are against the standards set out. There's also the facility for you to be able to build your HR capability by using the qualifications or the training or attending the conferences or using the CIPD textbooks. And the recognition comes in the form of completing CIPD qualifications and maintaining your professional membership. So now you've seen how the CIPD think that the HR map can help you. Take a few moments for you to think of when you could use the map. So pause the video and take a few moments to try to come up with some ideas. I've come up with 8 ways that you might be able to practically use the map. So when you're ready, you can compare your list to mine. So you've now reached the point where you could attempt Assessment Criteria 1.1, which is to evaluate what it means to be a HR professional, making reference to the current CIPD profession map. So you should start off by explaining what the HR map is, including the main parts and its structure. So make sure you include the 8 behaviours, 10 professional areas and emphasise the 2 core areas and also the 4 bands of professional competence. You should also include an image of the map to help the reader visualise the components that you're describing. You should ensure you include examples from the range of knowledge, skills and behaviours which are included in the map. So when you visited the map, if you choose an area or behaviour that's important to you and click on this area or behaviour, it will take you to another screen with more information. You'll find a link to a PDF. If you open the PDF, this will give you the knowledge and the activities that you will be required or expected to perform or know for that particular area or behaviour at the band that you've chosen. You also need to explain why these are important for HR professionals and their organisations. So for this one, you can refer to the fact that it sets global standards, it helps us to define, diagnose, build and recognise our HR capability. So the objectives for this session were to explain the main features of the CIPD HR profession map, and we've done this by having a look at the behaviours, the areas and the bands of the map, and you've also had a chance to find out how the map works yourself. The next objective was to describe the relevance of the HR map to HR practitioners, and we've done this by having a look at the fact that it sets global standards. It also helps us to define, diagnose, build and recognise our own HR capability. So that brings us to the end of session 2, and you can join me again for session 3 when we'll look at group dynamics and look to answer assessment criteria 1.2. And don't forget, you can visit our website here, which will give you more resources to help you complete this assignment. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you'll find lots of free taster sessions on other ILM and CIPD units, and also free taster sessions for our teacher training courses. We hope you enjoy the next video that's been chosen especially for you.